All the time. Now the truth just walked in. Come on in. The real God's man.
I want to thank you, Dr. Lestine Johnson, and the concerned citizens of Compton, South Poinsettia Avenue Block Club, and the NAACP. It is a great joy to be here today to witness and observe and to listen and to be able to moderate this candidate forum in a city with rich history and a wonderful, promising future. I believe that we are ready to hear from our candidates. And so first, we're going to hear an opening statement from Omar Bradley.
Good afternoon, and to our esteemed Chamber of Commerce president and officers, and to our esteemed moderator. I'm thrilled to be here today. As you know, I have had some medical issues, and I just want to use that as my opening statement. On Wednesday at 1 p.m., my heart began to palpitate very rapidly. Shortly thereafter, I began to sweat profusely, and I told my wife, "You better call 911." In less than 4 minutes, our brave firefighters showed up at our home and began to provide the necessary assistance to save my life. I kept asking them for pain medication. I said, "Can you just stop the pain?" They said, "No, because we don't have a cuff big enough for your arm, and we don't know whether or not you have low blood pressure or high blood pressure. We're not going to give you any medication. But what we are going to do is we're going to skip going to Kaiser, and we're going to take you to a specialist because we believe you're having a major heart attack." And guess what? They were right. By the time they rode me into Lakewood Center, there was a medical team that they had contacted before I got there, and they began to shave me. And you know, most of you who know me know I'm kind of a coward. And by the time they got through shaving me, they were giving me surgery while I was still awoke. Come to find out I had an embolism. Nothing wrong with my heart, just something rode into it and blocked it off. And I said that to say this. Compton is in an emergency situation, and we need people who know the way to the hospital.
If we can hold down the applause.
We need folks that are not going to get carried away and act before they think, or to move without verifying what the conditions truly are. Ms. Brown is an apt candidate, extremely intelligent, well-educated, and I think someday she's going to be a fine mayor. But right now, with our city in critical condition, with a $49 million deficit, with scandals that are going to cost us even more money and more time, I think we need to call someone who not only knows the way to the hospital, but knows what to do when we get there. I offer my candidacy and that kind of leadership to you. And once again, thank you for all your prayers and love.
And now we have the opening statements by Asia Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's an honor to be before you all today. I thank the Chamber for putting together this fine candidates forum for the organization. I also thank our moderator, Pastor Smith, for being here in solidarity. I thank our seniors for coming out and holding the line as they always had in the city of Compton. I thank my supporters. I thank everyone that has said a prayer for Mr. Bradley, including myself. It's great to see him here today. And we always wish people well, and I think that his emergency really signified that we're all human beings. And I think it's easy for us to get carried away in getting involved and thinking that a political forum or a political candidacy is personal, when it isn't. We simply are here today because we have a choice to make. We're here because, and I agree with Mr. Bradley, the city of Compton is in critical condition, and it's been in critical condition for generations and generations. And those people that have worked in the city of Compton, like myself, have been aware of the ongoing $20 million deficit that's been on the books for over 20 years. And the additional budget deficit that has accrued in the last 10 years, and really systematically in the last 4 years, is really because of lack of financial controls, because of poor spending, mismanagement, nepotism, internal corruption, and those are all of the things that it's imperative that we stop. I believe that the choice is really clear when we look at where we're going in the future. We all here agree that we need to make a new decision. We're all here today because we've all made a decision. We've decided that we don't want to go in the same direction that we've been going on, and we all want change. And I believe that my 10 years of experience working in community development, writing policies and programs, successful programs that have employed people to work in real projects and to continue to bring investment into the city are the exact types of things that we need in order to move Compton forward. We need a new image, and we need to bring new resources into the city of Compton in order for it to be sustainable and to be a city that we can all be proud of. And I want to thank my mother for being in attendance today, who has been here in the city of Compton since the 1960s. And my grandmother moved here from Texas, and I'm a third-generation resident, so I have deep roots here in Compton, and I'm proud to be here. And I hope that you decide to move forward with me on June 4th. Thank you.
Hold your applause, please. The first question will be addressed to Asia Brown. The next mayor of the city of Compton faces a raft of issues. Recently, we've seen a spike in crime. City finances is at a struggle. We have cracks in our sidewalks. Untended trees are infesting many of our neighborhoods. The city's ability to provide services that improve the quality of life of the city residents has diminished. What would you do as mayor to move the correction of these issues forward in a positive light?
The first thing that I believe that we all have to address and really come to grips with is that the city of Compton has suffered for years from a very poor perception. And from a business standpoint, the perception and the ideal that one has when they decide to invest in the community is based on two decisions. It's based off of the reputation and also the longevity and the economic viability of a community. And in the city of Compton, it is imperative that we change our image, that we address our internal policies that are extremely outdated. We know as city employees know that we have a general plan that's outdated. We have a zoning ordinance that's outdated, and it allows for graffiti to stay on buildings. It allows for different businesses to locate next to other businesses that don't necessarily go together. So when we look at wanting to invest businesses into the city of Compton, when we want to create jobs and bring money and bring services and to bring revenues here, we have to make sure that the city of Compton is in order. We have to make sure that we return back to basics, which is providing services. We have potholes everywhere. We have trees that aren't trimmed. We have trash in the streets with no trash cans. The streets aren't well lit. We have a multitude of issues, but we have to address what's going on in the city of Compton first. And until we can get our financial systems in order, we need to make sure we implement financial controls that stop people from allowing the city's coffers to be their own piggy bank. We have to make certain that we improve transparency and efficiency and make sure that, above all else, that we focus on bringing economic growth into the city of Compton. We have to create jobs. We have to be able to be business friendly. We have to be able to work together. And the word of God says that two houses divided against itself cannot stand. And so we have to implement one vision that the community can agree upon and move the city forward. Thank you.
And now Omar Bradley.
Thank you, Pastor. The first thing that I intend on doing is following the Compton City Charter. It is a very viable document, and it is the lifeblood of our city. The Compton City Charter plainly states that one council cannot carry a deficit over into a new budget year. I believe Ms. Moore knows that. She's shaking her head. There has never been a $20 million deficit over the last 20 years. It's illegal. And if there has been a deficit, it falls plainly on the shoulders of those who are required to keep our books and to make sure that we have a balanced budget. More importantly, when we talk about Compton's charter and we talk about how it empowers the people, we have to remember that it is the people of Compton that the council is supposed to serve. What does that mean? You know, we have a $4.6 million budget item in our charter called MLES, and most of those people are really code enforcement. I asked the question of the city manager, What do you think is more important to the average citizen? That you get an ambulance to a resident's home who is in cardiac arrest or who has been shot, or that you write a ticket to a citizen who can't afford a water bill to green their grass? We've got to put the citizens first. And once we begin to serve the needs of the citizens and put our resources towards our children and our seniors and those who are in need, all of these other measures are going to correct themselves. Right now, we have a $4.5 million balloon payment that we've got to pay the county. You notice I've been saying Compton's not for sale. On June 4th, 2014, we have to pay them that money. And if we don't pay them that money, there's going to be someone sitting up here who's going to be appointed by the county to say what you're going to pay first and what you're going to pay second. But if you would have taken care of the community first, you wouldn't have that issue. Thank you.
We've spoken about the issues of Compton and what's plaguing our city, but I want to take a turn and speak about, if you were mayor on tomorrow, how would you market this city to incorporate a vibrant group of young adult professionals bringing their families to Compton? Mr. Omar Bradley.
Well, you know, I would like to say, I'm looking out over the audience. I see Lorraine Cervantes. And I know Lorraine remembers the day when we grew up in Compton where you knew folk. When you walked down the street, you could get a whooping from anybody. You knew somebody was always watching. And I would suggest that we don't really have to market Compton to anyone. We really got to market Compton back to ourselves. We got to make our citizens feel as though they're important and what they think is important. I plan on putting these council people out in our parks. You can't park in front of City Hall. People need to be able to get to their council people, and they need to be able to make sure that nobody comes up here and say, what are you doing for your money? If you're out in the parks, council people, and you're meeting with the citizens and they can walk up and tell you the water bill is too high, I think that's the way we need to change our image. I think we need to service our community by saying, listen, our parks have to be open 7 days a week. They need to become homework centers. When our kids get out of school on 6th period, they need to have 7th and 8th period. We need to empower our senior citizens who are very wise to teach our kids how to get their homework, how to finish their work, how to dress, how to pull their pants up. I don't intend on changing anything. I intend on taking what God has blessed us to have and utilize it for the needs of our community. Our community. Now, the city manager does not live in Compton. He flies back on Thursday and he comes back on Monday. The charter says he is supposed to live here. I can tell you that when the city manager is driving down the same streets you are every day, he'll be more concerned about the potholes. When he's paying the same water bills that you're paying, he'll be more concerned about how high they are. So I don't intend on changing anything. I intend on following the charter and delivering to the citizens of Compton what they've been waiting on for the last 12 years.
Asia Brown. Please hold your applause. Please hold your applause.
Could you repeat the question? I want to make sure that I answer it correctly.
How would you market the city of Compton, especially to young adult professionals who could bring their families into this city? How would you market the city of Compton to them?
I believe that the mayor is a staple and a fixturehead of the people that he or she serves. And I believe that my candidacy and my leadership as mayor of Compton will send a new message to the people, not only inside of the community, but the people that are desiring to come into our community and to join us, that Compton has changed, that it isn't necessarily the Compton of yesterday, that it has married the old and the new, and that it's ready to move forward to serve all of the residents here in the city of Compton. And I know some people don't like change, but change is inevitable. The only thing that stays the same is if you're no longer with us. And so I just believe that in order for us to really attract and bring in the type of revenue and the types of services that we want in the city of Compton and the type of services that we used to have in the city of Compton, my mother would tell me how beautiful and bustling Compton Boulevard was and how there were various shoe stores and there were places to eat and places where you can actually get the things that you need in your own city. And in order for us to be able to attract those businesses here once again, we're going to have to signify with our own self that we're professional, that were open for business, that were business friendly, that were open for families to come in, and that we're concerned about our kids, that we're not only concerned about our seniors, but that we're concerned about our youth as well. And my personal focus is on youth development, and that's something that I've dedicated my personal time to, not only in the community, but also in ministry. And I believe that if we can forge partnerships with our school district and with our college and really create systems that allow us to grow together and address the needs of the people here, but also in the Compton 10 years from now, because some people won't be here with us in 10 years, but some people will be. And so we have to be strategic, and that's what leadership is all about, not only looking at today, but looking toward the future. Thank you.
And the city of Compton will have to deal with the largest group of AB 109 population in the entire state of California. How, if you were elected mayor, would you partner up with faith institutions and businesses to help realign the inmates coming back home? Asia Brown.
My main policy prescription that I plan on implementing as mayor is to initiate a citywide strategic plan. And a citywide strategic plan is a 10-year blueprint of where we need to go in order to provide the necessary services and programs to our residents here in the city of Compton. Now, AB 109 has been on the way here to the city of Compton for 4 years now. And an emergency response warning was issued to city administration, and it's the city's responsibility to make sure that our nonprofits are in place and that our faith-based institutions are in place and that our businesses are here in place together on one page so that we can provide the services that we need. I know of great nonprofit institutions already operating in the city of Compton that are providing services to people that get out of prison. And our church, Faith Inspirational, we have an awesome program that has been in effect for 4 years now, where we graduate people that have come into our program and they actually get real jobs. They don't just get the training and the life skills, but they're actually ready to reintegrate into not only society, but back into their families. And all of us have known someone who has been in prison at some point in their life, and when they come out, they're almost in a time capsule, and they need services and support, and everyone to rally behind them in order to get them back into society. And I know that also at Curry Temple, there's a drug rehab program, and it works with people to be able to get them back on the right foot. And so I believe that with the 200 churches that we have in the city of Compton, we have an opportunity to bring us all together on one page. And we all have different things that we offer to the community, but when we lay everything out on the table, and if one person can focus on job training, and if one person can focus on parenting, and one person can focus on being a leader in your community, if one person can focus on making sure that people don't go back into prison, if one church can just focus on one thing, then we can meet the needs of our entire community. But it takes leadership, and it takes a plan and a vision to chart the course so that people can know where they're going, how they can contribute, and how they can actually make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Omar Bradley.
Well, first of all, we need to be clear of what the job of the mayor of Compton is. The charter says he is the official spokesperson, and that's about it. He has a fifth vote on the council, and that's for the purpose of breaking ties. However, when it comes to the area of recapitulating programs that will stop folks from going back to prison, I'd like to revisit Operation Redirection once or twice. I think that we've already proven that we can take our young men and women, train them in the construction trades, and we can begin to rehabilitate the housing stock that needs it. I'd like to go back to Operation Clean and Green because I believe that our mediums at one point were pristine and beautiful, and we need to get them back that way because not everybody's going to college. Some of us are going to do things that require us to work with our hands. Most importantly, I think we need to build a job training center in Compton, and I don't really think we need to build one so much as we need to convert some of those warehouses that folks that don't come from here have been using for the last 40 years and do something with the warehouse for ourselves. I think we need to begin to start taking some of the land that we have, some of the land that we pay for as taxpayers, and begin to utilize that land for our needs. I mean, when was the last time we had a truck driving program in Compton? When was the last time we had a horticultural program in Compton? When was the last time we had a radiation technology program in Compton? And why don't we do these things? Why haven't we moved forward? We've got everything we need. The charter allows for it. I intend on putting these things into play immediately. I don't intend on building a lot of new stuff. I think those gyms that are over there at Gonzalez Park, Ludus Park, and all these other parks will work fine for places to bring our young men and women in and begin to give them the skills they need to rehabilitate our town. I was on Long Beach Boulevard not long ago, Long Beach and Alondra, and I saw 2 memoriams for people who were shot. But you know what I saw around it? Filth, trash. And who's gonna act like Snow White when you're surrounded by that kind of milieu? Let's put our people to work to clean up our town. It'll change everything.
What qualifies you to seek this office? And how would those qualifications make you the best candidate for the position? And why should voters elect you as mayor? We'll start with Omar Bradley.
That's the best question of all. I've been to the White House and I've been to the Big House. And in between both of those experiences, the thing that I found out most between dealing with the AIDS of the president and dealing with people who are dying with AIDS and are serving life sentences is that every human being has a value, a worth, and that we should cherish that worth and that value with every breath and every cell of our being. If you want to be mayor of Compton, it cannot come from a book. You have to literally walk up to people who have called you names last week and put your arms around them and kiss them this week and say, I love you, and I want to help you, and I want to be there for you. Because if we build buildings, they'll look good. But if we build people, they'll be good. And I'm in the business of building people. I've done it all my life since I was 9 years old. And I just thank God for sparing my life, for allowing me one more chance to come back and build my people again.
Asia Brown.
Thank you. I believe my qualifications to become mayor are not just my education, which I am proud of, but it's my 10 years of experience working in cities such as Compton, revitalizing them, bringing resources, making sure that our budgets are sound and balanced, making sure that our processes are effectively managed and utilized, making sure that our image improves with every year, making sure that we bring investment back to downtown, making sure that we address our image issues and our challenges, and making sure that we build coalitions, bringing people together, not separating them. I have 5 years of experience working specifically with redevelopment and economic development and brownfield development. And my additional 5 years of experience was really concentrating on business development. I work directly with CEOs and companies that have been Fortune 500 companies and that have had investment into their community and look for a partnership with their cities. And I believe that in the city of Compton, we have a huge opportunity to turn our corporations that have been here and that are taxpayers into stakeholders. When it's not enough just to pay your property taxes, but to be able to partner with the city and the school district and the college and to be able to create systems. My experience and my education and my service to my community has allowed me to really see the issues that we have, not only inside of City Hall, but outside, and really to be able to see that we need to have one vision in order to move the community forward. And while I haven't necessarily been to the Big House or to the White House, I have lived in the city of Compton. And I've been here as a third-generation resident, and I know what it takes to move cities forward. It's not just a lot of rhetoric or great speaking, but it takes relationships. The city of Compton has been on an island for years and generations and decades, and this is what we have. When we look to the city of Gardena, when we look to Paramount, when we look to Carson, all of those cities have continued to progress because they've partnered with the state, with the federal government to bring resources into the city.
If you were elected mayor, what leadership qualities do you bring to the position of mayor that would help you to navigate with dealing with the accreditation of the college, dealing with the issues pertaining to the hospital, and dealing with the city as a whole as it comes to protection? And last but not least, how can we give our school system a booster shot so that education is a top priority in the city? Asia Brown.
Well, as an urban planner, I've been trained and I have experience in bringing systems in a community together to help them work efficiently. When I look at all of the institutions that you named, we have so many things that other cities don't have. We have our own airport, we have our own golf course, we have multi-transit stops, we have our own water district. We have all of these resources here together, but none of them are utilized together to make the city more efficient and more effective, and most of all, a great place to live for the people that live here and the people that do business here. When I look at education specifically, we have systems that are separated. We need to look at our school district as a training ground, not only for the kids to get their education, because everyone's not going to college, but people need to have the skills necessary to be successful in the 21st century. We have our own college, and there's an opportunity to create a system at the high school level to the local community college with our corporations in order to make sure that our kids can graduate with trades. There are other cities that graduate their kids in high school with their own cosmetology license, with their welding license, and they're actually ready to go into society and to take care of themselves and to help their families. When I look at the college district, we have the opportunity to create specialized education programs to fit the industries that are booming in the city of Compton. We have the Obamacare is rolling out all across the United States of America, but we know in the city of Compton that we have very few healthcare providers. But the nursing industry is booming, so I believe that if we look at those industries that are growing and train our kids in those areas and provide them with the resources and the on-the-job training and connect them with institutions in their own community, that they can thrive and not only just be a marginal or a basic successful adult, but I think Compton can be a model of urban development and revitalization and restoration. Thank you.
Thank you.
Compton is a model of urban development and restoration. But if you haven't been here more than 4 years, you would not know that in 1992, on February 16th, after a verdict in the Rodney King case, $198 million worth of property was burned down in Compton. If you haven't been here on earth longer than 31 years, you would not know that in 1965, there was another riot called the Watts Riot, which also spilled into Compton. How can you expect the college district to let you have programming if they won't let you have your college? It was here in this room in 1993, along with Mr. Cervantes and Ms. Moore and several others, that we fought Willard Murray, another interloper, who wanted to turn our college into a prison. It is not that the people of Compton are not educated. I have a master's degree, 2 BAs, and a PhD. But if I don't have love for my people in my heart, then I am a clanging cymbal. I am a sounding gong. I am nothing but a noise and a face in a suit. If you don't love Compton, if you're not willing to fight to make sure that someday Compton Boulevard is Compton Boulevard in Gardena, I don't use Paramount as my example when they don't have enough heart for us to even name our city as a street. I am down for Compton. I am the bravest, the boldest, and the longest standing mayor this town will see, and I am back to take my town and to lead my people where they are supposed to go, and nothing on this earth will come in between me and that. And if you're not brave enough to stand before a judge, if you're not bold enough to walk in the middle of the Crips and the Pyrus, if you can't stand on Long Beach Boulevard with both sides of it on fire, then you cannot come to this town and tell us what you dream of doing. You must tell us what you're gonna do, and I will tell you what I have done.
Hold your applause, hold your applause, hold your applause, hold your applause. What do you think city government is doing in terms of being transparent? Are there any changes you would like to see made regarding that? And I'm going to ask Omar Bradley to address this one first.
Very good question. First of all, we have an $800,000 cell phone bill we pay each year. That's over. You use your own cell phone if you're an employee of this city. You drive your trucks to your house, and you get back in our trucks when you get to our city, and you use our gas when we get there. You will no longer have car allowances. We're going to take some of those cars that are sitting over there in Old City Hall, paint them black, and our council will drive them. Council people will be in parks, and they will meet there with the community. And they will earn the little money that they get because you'll be able to call them out on what they do. Transparency is a clean-cut word for do your job. Do your job, workers. Now, you know when I lost in 2001, people were running around here saying the slave master's dead. But you know, I just don't understand why we'd have an employee with a truck if he can't stop to pick up a couch. I don't know why we would have employees with street sweepers that are driving 45 miles an hour down your streets. I don't understand why you haven't seen a meter reader in front of your house in months, but you know they always know how much money you owe on your water bill. Transparency means go to work, do your job, and come home and get paid for it at the end of the week. I don't need to follow you. I can see your work better than you can tell me what your work is. The other part of it is this. Our employees have been beat up. They have been made a fool of. They have been utilized and misused, and they need to be cherished. We need to build our employees up because the way they feel about us is the way they service us. So we need to have more nights where we honor them. We need to have a gym directly for them so that they can get the kind of proper treatment that they need in terms of their aerobic life and their cardio life. We need to find out if we can do more for them with daycares. But in terms of any transparency, it's there in your charter. Your charter says it requires 3 votes to move a resolution, 4 votes to move a municipal code item. You have to look at your municipal code. If you did any of that, you would not have the problems that you're facing now. The city manager should only be able to approve $4,999. Any more than that, the council should be responsible. That's where we're going back to.
Thank you. Asia Brown.
I believe to increase transparency is to move forward. Transparency is the will of the leadership there. As a former city employee, I know that the morale was bad because people and employees here felt that they were under a dictatorship. They felt that instead of working for a city, that they were working in someone's kingdom as peasants and peons. But I believe that we need to inform and empower our people to do their jobs. You know, people are afraid to give basic information to citizens because they have fear of backlash. And I believe that when there is absolute power, there is absolute corruption. And I believe that we need to reestablish the citizen oversight committees that exist via our city charter in the city of Compton. We need to bring power back to the people of the city of Compton. We need to have quarterly civic trainings on relevant city issues. There are basic things that come to the city council agenda that people just are misinformed about. And when people are misinformed, they begin to be distrustful and they no longer trust government. And as a city employee, I sat right back there in that room there and I've watched people come up here and they were concerned about issues, but they were ignorant to the facts. And so we need to make sure that the residents and that the people of Compton are actually informed of what actually cities do, what items are going to be on the agenda for years to come, so they can understand that they can be involved in the city process. We need to update our cable access station. We need to make sure that the city has an information marquee. There's no central place to get information in the city of Compton. And I believe instead of having monuments, let's put a city marquee there so that when people drive through the heart of their town, they can see what's going on in their city. We should coordinate with the Compton Tribune to make sure that they can increase their frequency of delivering relevant news to the city of Compton. We need to make sure that we have a city newsletter, and we can coordinate with the LA Times or the Press Telegram or whoever goes out to bid in order to make sure that the city newsletter is delivered with people's newspapers so they can understand what's going on right here in their own city. And lastly, I believe that we should have quarterly mayoral roundtables with the citizens so that people can bring their issues back to the top so that we can serve you better. Thank you.
What do you have planned to help the youth with extracurricular activities and other options other than gangs, drugs, and violence? I'm going to ask for Omar Bradley to respond first, and then Asia Brown.
Well, here's where having a mayor who does have some notoriety helps. I was just with Norman Nixon on Wednesday, right before this episode, and he has agreed to do a point guard basketball clinic in Compton. I was with DeMar DeRozan Friday night, along with my good friend Marvin Kinsey, and he has agreed to do a camp. I was with The Game that same night. What we have to do is we have to bring those people who have made it big off Compton back to Compton. Now, many of you saw that Dr. Dre, who hollered Compton more times than he hollered mama, gave USC $70 million last week. I want to know how many records did they buy at USC of NWA. See, the problem with Compton is everybody wants to come here and help us. You want to fix it. You want to show us what to do. I went to this school, I went to that school. But what you really need to know is that there's nothing wrong with Compton. We need people to get up out of our way, let us follow our charter, and begin to assist. But that's the quickest 2 minutes on life.
Finish up your sentence.
We don't need any help. We need people to get up out of our way and allow us to utilize the organs and various vicissitudes that come along with the chartered city to move this city forward. That's all we need.
Could you repeat the question, please? If you don't mind.
What do you have planned to help the youth with extracurricular activities and other options other than gangs, drugs, and violence?
Well, youth development is really the heart of me personally. I spend my time and my resources investing in Compton's youth because I believe if you don't invest in your youth, you're not investing in your future. I believe that the city of Compton has so many great people that have come from Compton, and they want to give back to Compton, but they need to be able to give back to something that's transparent, that they can trust, and that they believe is reputable and will actually provide the services back to the residents and the people that they actually want to serve. I believe that our kids are brilliant here, and I have an opportunity to work with them, and I know that they just need enrichment and they need support. And so I believe that we should have youth enrichment programs here in the city of Compton in partnership with our school district, and have a Compton Science Academy, a Business Academy, an Arts Academy, a Music Academy, and really make sure that our kids are positioned to get the things that they need. And I agree with Mr. Bradley in that there are so many great people that came into Compton, but I believe any mayor would have the opportunity to really bring investment back here and really to stimulate, not only in word, but in deed, that Compton has changed and we're ready and open for business. Thank you.
We live in a very diverse city. Based on your experience, whether by employment or past political position, what will you do differently within our city to bring unity, understanding, and education to our residents? Omar Bradley first.
Cuando su alcalde no habla español es muy problema. Muy problema.
Yo
Cuando
hablo
tu alcalde
español.
no habla en español, ¿sí? Es muy importante, ¿sí o no? ¿Sí? If you don't speak Spanish, how can you be mayor of a town that's 70% Latino? You know, I don't want to get deep because I like this young lady, and I think she's going to be a great leader. I went to Gonzales Park. The Pyrus were trying to register people to vote, and the police came. See, and that's the kind of backwards thinking we got to change. Because when the Pyrus want to register people to vote, the police should be turning their backs and saying, here, put the application here. When I talked to some of the Pyrus, they said, we're going to the Crips and show them now. And then we're going to the Vatos and show them now. We don't need any big fixes. All we need is love. Remember that record? All we need in Compton right now is love. And once we start loving each other and treating each other right, the thing is going to change overnight. This building didn't get built by dreams. It was built by people like Walter R. Tucker and Maxie Filer and folks that had a vision. And let's keep it going.
Asia?
Could you repeat the question?
We live in a very diverse city. Based on your experience, whether by employment or past political position, what will you do differently within our city to bring unity, understanding, and education to our residents? And then, before she starts, we had given Omar a few seconds after the red card. I was looking down at the cue card, so I'm going to give Asia an extra few seconds to finish hers as well. And that's fair.
I believe my greatest experience has been working on the ground with the city of Compton and its residents. I've had the opportunity to partner with the Social Action Coalition and various nonprofit groups and the Salvation Army and people that are committed to bringing change and to bring equity and efficiency back to the city of Compton. The city of Compton is actually 60% Latino, and of those constituents, while 20% of those can actually vote, they're going to be at voting age the next time, and we have to be able to work together to provide services and resources to the entire community of Compton, not just the blacks, not just the Latinos, but the community of Compton. And when I go speak to people, you know, they say, well, what are you going to do for the Latinos? You know, because we've been promised things in the past that people didn't deliver. And I tell them that, you know what, the sign of integrity and character is the sum total of your track record. And my track record speaks for itself. I've done what I said I was going to do. I provide what I say I'm going to provide. My accomplishments are real, whether, people want to say they're fabricated or not, they're real. And people know character when they see it. And I've been able to create great partnerships and people that we plan on working together and that we've already been working together to make sure that our kids have the resources that they need and that they have mentors and that they have hope and that they can be able to move forward. And I lead by example. So I don't have to point to someone else and say, you should be like them. But I say, you can be like me, you can be like my husband, you can be like your mother, you can be like your father, you can be like the people in your church, the people that are in your nonprofit groups, the people that are in your after-school programs. The city of Compton is full of great people.
You can finish it up.
Okay, the people of Compton are full of great people, and we have everything that we need right here. Thank you.
What is your vision as it pertains to economic development, certified minorities, women in businesses, City of Compton employee training and mentoring, and cracking down on the prostitution on Long Beach Boulevard? And we'll begin with Asia Brown.
My vision for the City of Compton's local economy is to really create a local economy that can grow. It's not enough to create pocket programs or, pocket services that serve as Band-Aids, but we need to make sure that we create a system that creates resources and jobs to people that live in the community. The first thing that I like to facilitate is to create a local nonprofit, which is a community development corporation that takes the best of both worlds with the private sector and the public sector, and it's able to access funds that the city can't access, and it makes the city able to access funds that private people can't access, and to have a small business incubator program under that nonprofit to offer free expungement services and be able to offer free technical assistance to small businesses and to assist them to locating into city-owned property along Compton Boulevard. I think we all want to see the city of Compton downtown to return back to its bustling self, and we're going to have to be able to create a system to facilitate that growth. We need to expand our Compton apprenticeship program, which I assisted the creation of with CareerLink, and make sure that our local people get employed on local jobs. Thank you.
Omar Bradley.
I'll try to be specific. Compton has the highest incident of HIV in the county of Los Angeles. County of Los Angeles has the highest incident of HIV in California. California has the highest incidence of HIV in America. So if you put some signs up on Long Beach Boulevard that say you are traveling through a zone which has the highest incidence of HIV, I don't think you'll see too many more prostitutes or Johns. That's number one. You got to tell people the truth. You got to tell people the truth, that people are going up there and coming home to their families and making people sick. And, let me move on. We just lost CRA because cities keep trying to build buildings, and that's not what you're designed to do. Read that charter. It doesn't say one thing about you building a building. You're supposed to get the dirt up off the streets. You're supposed to have parks and recreations that your children can come to and feel safe. You're supposed to be able to tell the young men,
if elected as Compton mayor, what one primary goal do you hope to accomplish in the next 4 years, and how? In the next 4 years, and how? Start with Omar Bradley.
I intend on spreading the atmosphere of hope, the promise of love, and a commitment to listen to those who are of the most meager socioeconomic background or spirit. I've learned, ladies and gentlemen, that you can be the smartest guy in the room, but if you don't care about the guy sitting next to you or the one sitting behind you, you're no good. God needs people who love people. And that's really all the mayor of Compton can do. You've got to love the other council people and show them respect. You've got to let citizens come up and criticize you, and you have to be respectful to them and ask them if you can do it differently, maybe learn a better way. You got to respect our employees, even when they're wrong, because they too are human beings.
Thank you. Asia Brown.
I plan to make certain that the city of Compton is reformed internally and externally. Anytime you're talking to any small business, whether they're in the city of Compton or whether they are choosing to locate into the city of Compton, they always say the same thing. It takes too long to get anything done in the city of Compton. And at the end of the day, the residents suffer because we have to go to different cities just to get basic services that we need and that we deserve. And so I believe that we need to reform the internal processes of City Hall, and of course keep the city charter, that's a baseline, but make sure that we expand it and that we breathe life and that we take Compton up to the 21st century. The city of Compton has a rich history of electing young, bright leaders, as Mr. Bradley was first elected, I believe, when he was 33. And I believe that if we continue with that tradition and making sure that we take the most viable and the most energetic and the most healthy and the most driven and person that has vision to the forefront of our community, that we can really signify that we're ready for growth and that we're open for business and that we're not only serving the people that live here, but those people that choose to come here, that we can move forward together. So I think that reform, revitalization, and real growth is necessary in order for Compton to be able to sustain itself in the future.
Thank you. What do you think is the single most important issue facing the city of Compton today? Asia Brown.
I believe that the single most important issue, which is closely knit in all of our issues, is our perception. And people may not think about it, but when we look at the perception of the city of Compton, it impacts economic development decisions. It impacts whether or not people choose to invest in the city of Compton. And when people don't want to invest into the city of Compton, then we don't have job growth. And when we don't have job growth, we continue to have one of the highest unemployment rates in the state of California. When people aren't able to sustain their families, then our crime rate increases. And when our crime rate increases, we have high incidences of people leaving the family, and we have single-parent households, and we have a cycle of people not being raised with everything that they need. And I believe that when we address the true issue of the city of Compton, which is our past, that we can be able to really move forward and not try to cover it up, but address it and clean it out so that we can all be proud to live here. And while some of us are proud, some people that I've spoken with on the campaign trail, they're not. And we need to make sure that we represent everybody and that we can move forward in integrity together.
Thank you. Omar Bradley.
The biggest problem we have is political infighting and a willingness to say anything to win. You know, your lies are going to find you. I don't care how long it takes. They're going to walk right up to you, tap you on the shoulder, and say, hello. But what's worse is that when we have a council meeting and we can't come together as a people, we open the door for outside interests to come here and try to take our precious water. Outside interests who want to come here and take our precious geographical location. And you can't blame them for wanting to come here and take you over because you are fighting one another. You know, it's like people say, you don't have to call the Ku Klux Klan on black folks. We beat each other up good enough. And until we unify our community, until we start having genuine concern for the oldest to the youngest, from the brownest to the whitest, the blackest to the poorest, where everybody feels as though this is their time, we're going to continually have people show up.
Thank you.
And say, I'm going to be whatever I'm going to be.
Thank you.
Amen.
Listening to many of the citizens of Compton, it appears that whenever entities and organizations come into Compton, it's a facade to partner with Compton, but at the end of the partnership, Compton is left high and dry. And now there's an issue and a debate that's happening pertaining to the 710 freeway that will extend to Pasadena. The question that I have for the candidates today: how do you feel about the extension? And if you're in favor of extending the 710 to Pasadena, what would you do to make sure that Compton will get what Compton deserves? Omar Bradley.
Well, you probably should have gone with Asia first. She has served on the Pasadena Planning Commission.
Absolutely.
I think that it is atrocious that every time there's a major highway or freeway project that comes from the federal government, it comes through Compton. And as we looked on the Alameda corridor, we saw people that looked like they were brown and black, but when they took a shower, they didn't come from here. Whenever economic resources travel through your town but never stop in your town, you should be concerned about that. And then who should you be more aware of in terms of how that will impact you? Who will fight for you? Who will make sure that Dominguez High School is not gone? Who will make sure that Citizens of Zion is not gone? I have never served in any other city but Compton, and you know I will fight for you as long as there's air or breath in my body. I will go into hell with a gasoline jacket on for Compton. Now, when you go to the Alameda corridor now, you don't even hear the trains because Paul Richards and Alberto Robles and Mr. Sweeney and I sued to make sure that when you come through Compton, you come through with respect for the people. And I don't need to learn that from a book. I didn't get that from a degree. I got that from knowing you, seeing you in the gas station, seeing you at the Pop Warner games, seeing you at Food for More, less. And you know
If you can hold down your response,
that you
please.
can trust me to handle this 710 freeway expansion. Now, this is a project that is 40 years old. It started off with the county of Los Angeles under Mr. Hahn. And if you look at the various pieces that are moving around you politically, you'll see that Mr. Hahn's daughter has made a political decision. The county supervisor has made a political decision. Why is it that they don't want your tough boy sitting here when they come with that freeway? Because they know already that I'm not going to talk about what my degree is.
Thank you. Asia Brown.
Well, first of all, the 710 freeway expansion has been a project or a thought for over 40 years, as Mr. Bradley has stated. But I think it's important to really have a perspective larger than Compton, especially when you're going to be leading a city such as Compton. The 710 freeway expansion project is not happening. It doesn't have any political viability. People have said that I've served on the 710 Freeway Commission. That's not true. I was a Pasadena Planning Commissioner. And we made sure, just like we make sure in the city of Compton, that you protect the interests of the residents and you make sure that the city charter is enforced. Now, I do not support the 710 expansion for the same reason why I would never support an expansion even wider or a bridge across Rosecrans Boulevard in my own city. Because the people in our residents, we are the people in our city, we're the people that pay the cost. When I look at things that have gone on in the city of Compton transportation-wise, we've never received our fair share. We have 3 transit stops with MTA, and I've already spoken to MTA board members, and I've asked them, well, when are we going to be able to receive the funds that our citizens deserve from the economic injustice and the environmental injustice of having trains with loud whistles and rail lights sliding through our community, bifurcating our economic development. We look at Compton Boulevard and it's sliced in half. When we look at Alameda, it's great that that train goes over, but we've all went over the bridge in Rosecrans, and there's problems under the bridge. Anytime you build a bridge, the only benefit to that bridge is Caltrans, because those trucks, they allow people to come in and out of Compton. They don't stop in Compton. And so I believe that I look at all the systems of the city of Compton, not just the 710 freeway or the MTA rail line. I look at Union Pacific, and they store barrels of crap under our own rail lines, and they don't do that in other communities. I've ridden the trains from all the way from the top of the gold line all the way down to the end of the blue line, and I watch how they creep through other communities and how they roll straight through ours. And I've asked them, when are we going to be able to have a sound ordinance that makes sure that we preserve the sound? And I live right on the train tracks, and so I hear those trains when they blow right through my house, and it's inhumane. And I see some of my neighbors here, and we can all agree. So I not only fight for the city of Compton, but of course for the residents and our businesses, because we need to make sure that we protect our interests collectively.
Thank you so much. In leadership, you have to deal with so many different personalities. How would you handle, and what leadership qualities would you display when you bring an issue to the table and your leaders don't agree with you? Asia Brown.
I believe the greatest leadership quality that any leader could have is servitude, and to be able to create buy-in. And in order to get buy-in from any 2 people, you have to find a common ground. And in order to have a council that can work together, we have to understand that we are team members here for the same reason, which is to move the city of Compton forward. So when I look at issue by issue, we all can find something that we can see the needs of our constituents and make sure that we can find a middle ground. In order to be a leader, you can't be a dictator. You have to be someone that serves all the people in your constituents and that you can be able to set a clear course. There is so much infighting because we don't have a clear vision of where the city of Compton is going to go. We don't know. Other communities, they have basic things like strategic plans that really lay out where the city is going to go, where it's going to invest its resources, what streets are going to be paved, what streetlights are going to be installed over a 10-year period, and they connect the budget to those key issues that everybody has agreed upon. So I believe that we need to have a clear plan that everybody can agree upon. And if we're all trying to go in the same place, we may not all agree on some, but you have to give and take. And you can't force your ideals. You can't make your council people go out into the parks. You can't make them drive a certain car. You have to just be able to bring people together and serve them and to be able to create some clear ideals and be able to come together. Human beings don't always agree. I've been married for 10 years, and I know that me and my husband don't always see eye to eye, but we're in it to win it, and we're in it for the long run. So I think that as long as we're all in it for the long run, which is to serve our community, then we'll be able to live with one another and be able to move forward. Thank you.
You see, the devil is in the details. The council don't bring things to the agenda. That's the city manager's job. And see, if you don't really know, you can slide things by folk.
That's not true, but...
What the council does is they adopt a budget. They do so by 4 votes. They can modify that budget to change it and change the direction that the city manager wants to take the city in. The most important thing is that if your city manager doesn't live here, how does he know what you're going through? But if you follow the charter, it says he's got to be here. Let me tell you, when Compton caught on fire in 1992, Howard Caldwell lived in North Long Beach. He knew the fires were burning because he could see it from his house. But if you don't know where Willowbrook Junior High School is, how can you beat me over there to put out a fire? If you don't know where Vanguard is, if you don't know the difference between Holly Park and Campanella Park, then how can you serve the people? This election is not about high-sounding words or spirituality or where you go to church. I'm a Christian, I'm a minister, but I don't bring that up because that's not going to help me slow down your street sweepers. I've got to follow them around and say, brother, please slow down. These folks are paying the highest taxes in the county. I got to say, brother, please get that couch up. Because while you may not know it, somebody in this community is inviting their relatives over for dinner. And they don't want them to drive by a couch or trash or filth. So the best thing that the mayor of Compton can do is to communicate that which is the belief of the citizens. And you don't learn that in a book. I mean, I got more education than most. I learned that because Lorraine Cervantes taught me. Miss Hollis taught me. People whip me until I learn how to calm down. Amen. And there's going to be more pressure up here than you can ever imagine. So you need somebody who's been to the woodshed and wanted to get out.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you. Hold your remarks down. The community is looking for a leader that will lead individually and collectively. Why should people vote for you instead of your opponent? But speak qualities that you will bring to the table that will make a difference. Omar Bradley.
I intend on telling you the truth because I've learned it doesn't pay to lie to you. Lies are going to come out. They're going to find themselves out in the open. You know, the difference between me and most candidates is I was tutored at the knee of Maxie Fowler. Maxie Fowler told me, Omar, he said, sunlight is the best disinfectant. I never forgot that. I used to play with Bob Adams' children, and Bob used to always tell me, you can show me better than you can tell me. My entry letter to college was written by a man that I learned to love, which was Walter Tucker III. I'm born and bred Comptonite. I didn't wake up and want to become the mayor. Philip Fisher, Pat Moore remembers, was shot in the chest by an AK-47. He was being carried away by his father, trying to get into the house, just trying to live, 2 years old, and he didn't make it. When I got here on this council, Pat and I banned the sale of Saturday night weapons. You remember that? We also banned semi-automatic rifles. Congress can't do it, but you can't get them in Compton. We banned the first city to ban cigarette and tobacco advertising, alcohol, We did what had to be done, and many of those laws are not just state laws now, but they're federal laws because we had the courage to stand up and say no more for our people. And so what makes me better? I'm not better than anyone. I'm just as sorry as you can get, boy. I tell you, I'm a sinner in need of a Savior. And Wednesday, lying in the back of that ambulance taught me that. But I prayed Wednesday, and I asked God to spare my life and make me a better man. And if God grants me that wish, and he grants me the wish to become mayor, then that's all I can offer you. Not to be perfect, I'm not. My wife can tell you better. But I can just be the best man I can be for you.
Thank you so much. Asia Brown.
I believe that I represent many of the qualities that you all have instilled into your own children, to be honest and to be hardworking and to be committed and to have integrity and to let your yes be your yes and your no be your no, to give way more than you receive, and to always, always have other people's interests at heart. I'm here because I believe that the city of Compton is in need of change. I believe it doesn't deserve to have the continuation of the past. We need to go in a new direction that will represent the qualities that we all can agree upon are necessary in our leadership. I've never, ever badmouthed my opponent, and there's no resident in the city of Compton that can ever say that they heard me say anything negative about Mr. Bradley, because we all fall short, and we all make mistakes. But I'm here to provide my service and my skills and my integrity and my experience and my education to the residents and to the businesses and to the policymakers, not only inside of the city of Compton, that I've been able to garner their support for my candidacy, but also to federal leaders and to state leaders and to regional leaders that have a vested interest in the city of Compton, not because they want to take it over. Our charter is a charter invested in the state of California. It is illegal for LA County to take over the city of Compton. And anyone that understands the charter and what that charter means in relation to the state would know that. Our charter is a relationship with the state of California that is governed by the California Health and Safety Code. I'm here to bring fact to fiction. It's not enough to continue to have an emotional plea or leadership that we can no longer trust, or, maybe you're good or maybe you aren't. I believe that we need to go in a clear-cut, clean direction. I don't have any family members that work in City Hall. I don't have any special friends that work in City Hall. I plan to make sure that the best person does the job. I've never given contracts to people that I know, or that maybe I do know, maybe I don't. I believe that in order to bring true integrity, we need to have new leadership. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And that concludes our candidate questions. We're going to give them an opportunity to give closing statements. And I'm hoping that you all have been inspired on today to go to the polls and vote. And so at this time, we're going to give Asia Brown and Omar Bradley an opportunity to give closing statement. But before they do that, I want to just let them know that my prayers are with both of them. And I'm quite clear that no matter what we do and say, the Bible really speaks true. It says in Proverbs 16:9 that a man plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps.
That's right.
And so I want you all to be encouraged to know that just as God inspires all of us, we have to act upon it. And so I want to encourage all of you, after the closing statements, come and give both candidates some love, because we are all in this together. And so at this time, I'm going to give Asia Brown, and I've got permission by Dr. Johnson to extend their closing statements from 2 minutes to 3 minutes. And so if you will bear with them, and please hold down your applause and any remarks so that we can allow for them to express what God has placed on their hearts. Asia Brown.
I just want to say that it's truly an honor to be here as one of the youngest candidates that has been in this race, and being able to rise to the top of 12 candidates, I think is a testament of the fortitude and my ability to be able to persevere, to not be emotional, to make sound decisions, and to be able to keep a clear head in issues that we all face. I believe that it is imperative that we make a clear decision, not an emotional decision, but one that's based on facts. Our future is at stake. With a $43 million deficit, with a declining business community, with a poor local economy, with schools that are trying to rebound, with a poor reputation, with homeowners that are threatening to move out if we don't get some real change, I believe that it's time to elect leaders that are representative of everyone, that has compassion, not just on the people that live here, but on the people that work here, and that the people that serve and the people that come into our community every day to open up shop and to serve our residents in the city of Compton. I believe that the choice is clear. I believe that everyone should exercise their right to vote. People have died so that we can have the opportunity and that I can have the opportunity to sit here before you today. And I believe that the city of Compton has a tradition of electing youthful leaders that can lead and that can be able to have the fortitude and the energy and the intellect in order to lead our community to its next step. I believe that the word of God is true when it says that one person plants a seed and another waters, but God gets the increase. And I believe that if we all stay true to moving the community forward, as long as we get a leader that has a heart for the people, then we'll be able to move forward together. And my number one goal is to bring our communities together. It's not okay just to continue to focus on one segment of the community or to neglect the kids and focus only on the seniors, or to focus on the seniors and to neglect our kids. I believe that it's imperative for our nonprofits to come together and to collaborate. I believe that if we all can identify the services that we choose or that we offer the city of Compton's residences, then we can be able to make sure that we can provide the services that we need to succeed. And I think that a lot of times we always wait for a savior to come into our city, but we have everything that we need right here in order to move Compton forward. But we just need to make sure that we have a vision that's clear and that can bring everyone together and to move us forward and to be able to bring resources that we so desperately need into our community. So I offer my service to you. Some of you will vote for us, some of you won't. But I ask that everyone just come out to the polls and encourage somebody else to utilize their right. And as we celebrate Memorial Day, it's just a reminder that there are women and men that have died for our civil liberties and our justice and the right of free speech and for voting for all. And so I ask that everyone just keep that into remembrance, enjoy your families, because as Mr. Bradley said, with his health challenge, I think it really put things into perspective that as we want to serve our community, but our family and our health and our faith is first. So I thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Omar Bradley.
When I was a child, I think as a child, and I spake as a child. But when I became a man or a woman, I put away childish things. I don't have all the answers. I used to think that I did. I remember once Floyd James said, "The best thing a citizen of Compton can do is water your grass and cut it." I thought that was so asinine when I was young. But there's a profoundness in doing your part, whatever it is. I just want to do my part. Now, I can tell you, I just want to be mayor 4 years. I want to fix the budget because the charter provides for it. I want to fix the streets because we need it. I want to lower the water bills because I've heard too many of you complaining. And I don't ever want to see a day in Compton where people are choosing between dinner or a hot bath. We got some serious issues, and I applaud all of the elected officials who have endorsed my opponent. But I want to remind you that none of them live here. None of them drive down the streets that we drive down. None of them go to the grocery stores and stand in the long lines that we do. None of them wake up Sunday morning and have May Thomas come over and say, "Boy, come out that house, I want to talk to you." I love Compton. And I love May. And I love Mr. Arsenault. Didn't always, but I love him now. And I just want to close with this thought. This land is your land. This land is my land. From El Segundo to the 91 freeway, from Central Avenue to Atlantic Boulevard, this land was made for you and me, and the county should know that Compton is not for sale.
All right. All right, hold it. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down.
We're gonna
Hold
send
it
a
down.
message.
Hold it down. Hold it down.
We're gonna send a
Hold it
message.
down. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold on.
We're going to send a message
Hold it down.
to all of the people
Hold it
who
down.
want to take our time.
Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down.
Compton,
Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold it down. Hold on. Hold on. We want to thank the citizens